There, Pisces. Welcome to your reading for the week of November 8th. I'm going to do another, like a modified Celtic cross. So it's going to be, it's not like a traditional Celtic cross that I'm doing, even the layout. The layout is just like the same as a Celtic cross, but the direction that I lay it out in is different. So that's what we're going to do for you. I just felt like doing this. This modified Celtic cross has a emphasis on your environment, and I keep getting that word. I keep getting the word environment showing up in my reading. So I was like, hey, why don't I just do like a spread that is kind of based on your environment, but more loosely in a general way. So we start this Celtic cross here actually at the bottom of the reading, and you have the King of Cups here in the bottom position. This is your current energy. Not bad at all. Actually looks really nice for you this week. You end as the Queen of Cups, which is like your outcome. So it's kind of like your, to me, in a lot of ways, that would represent starting the week and ending the week in a very similar energy. Even though they're two different cards, there obviously aren't two King of Cups in this deck. If there were, it wouldn't surprise me if that was the King of Cups at the end. So I feel like you're starting very much the way that you are ending the week with the King of Cups here. And I feel like you're showing up in a very strong position. I feel like things are going to be going well for you here. So again, I feel like your current energy is kind of like very grounded at this point. Some of you could even just looking at this, there's this like waking up vibe here in your reading, mostly because you have the Judgment card over here. So you have your Judgment card in this bottom position over here, and I do feel like that Judgment card could be talking about, just feeling more awake, feeling more alive, feeling like things are kind of going more in your direction this week with the King of Cups. In the area of your hopes and fears this week, you have the Six of Wands here. I feel like some of you are hoping for attention. I feel like you're hoping for positive attention based off of the things that you have done. The really funny thing about the Six of Wands is that, to me, it is a card of hopes and fears. It's a good card. He has accomplished something great, right? It's a card of accomplishment. It's also a card of excellence as well. It's meant to represent the fact that, like, whatever he is doing for the week, he does a good job. He is able to accomplish things at a very high degree of accuracy, right? But it's also a card of fears because it's like he's got all these people around him. He's got people behind him, and probably, he's got people over here as well. We don't really know, but he probably has people all around him that are cheering him on. But there's like a lot of pressure that goes along with that, right? So I would say I do feel like a very strong need for you to like more come out of your shell this week, and I would like kind of like avoid the inferiority complex this week, Pisces. So if there's anything that makes you feel weak, I feel like you just need to kind of like shoo that away right away with that Six of Wands energy. Next in the area, and I'm sorry, the Six of Wands is actually, I totally messed up. This is actually your current energies, the Six of Wands. So, but again, I feel like it's still similar. Again, in the area of your hopes and fears, I totally messed up already, but that's all right. In the this is your third card. You have the High Priestess. Again, in your hopes and fears, it's like I feel like this is kind of like going to one extreme or the other. Pisces, High Priestess. Again, I'm a Pisces. You're a Pisces, probably, if you're watching this. I feel like us Pisces, right? We can turn little things into big things. We can turn big things into little things. I feel like there is a need for you to kind of take more of this middle ground approach here with the High Priestess. You can see that she is sitting in the middle right there on the cards. She is sitting perfectly in the middle here on the High Priestess. So I do feel like some of you need to make sure that you're not like under appreciating any type of situation that comes your way this week. And I feel like you need to not over exaggerate any situations that come your way either. She takes a middle ground approach. She's also very focused on the evidence. There is a veil behind her, and I always say the veils in the tarot, they represent a veil. They represent something that you can't quite really see behind, right? So you have to like go and explore. You have to be the one to see what is behind the veil. Really, it kind of says your answers, because this is part of your intuition. And the High Priestess represents needing to be intuitive, needing to trust your intuition, all of those other things. So I feel like your intuition is very on point this week. You're showing up in a very strong position, in a lot of ways this week. King of Cups, Queen of Cups here. You have the Knight of Cups as well, High Priestess. I mean, these could all be your energy. So you're showing up in a very strong position here, Pisces. In the past position, this is actually your past and your present energy combined. This fourth position here, Pisces. Just dropped my phone, but that's all right. So right here, this is your past and your present position here, this fourth position. And so in the past, I feel that there have been some inner battles, some inner turmoil that you've been going through over the past few months. We could look at the three people on the Five of Swords as three different people, or we can look at those as the same person, and it kind of represents him at three different stages of battle. It's like the three stages that he has gone through. In the first stage in the back, he's like got his head in his hands and he's crying. He has just lost, right? And so he's upset about loss. In the second position, he's like walking away. It's like he still has lost the battle, but he has learned how to deal with the challenges and difficulties of life. He has learned that maybe, losing something isn't the end. He has learned that there will probably be like another day where he can go out and try again. So, he's kind of more well integrated when it comes to loss or fear of loss or anything like that. And then you have this last guy here. He is typically considered to represent someone who is willing to win at all cost, which is not necessarily a good thing, because he could be sacrificing things that are important in life. Maybe not, but he could be. And so he kind of represents needing to pick and choose your battles. I kind of feel that for you here, where there is an energy of needing to pick and choose your battles. But I also feel that here in your crossing energy, you have the Magician. The Magician kind of tells me a few things here, Pisces, that I feel like some of you are hoping for a new beginning in a lot of ways, right? And so I feel like you're hoping to have a new beginnings, probably in multiple areas of your life, not just one. And but the Magician is like, coming up as a crossing energy like this. The crossing energy is something that helps you, but also could be hindering you, something that could also be getting in the way of you accomplishing what you want to accomplish at this time. But he kind of represents like needing to use all your talents, gifts, skills, and abilities. When he comes up in a crossing position here, like he's crossing this Six of Wands, to me, him crossing the Six of Wands like this really tells me that you are maybe ignoring or not using some sort of like hidden talent, gift, skill, or ability that you have. I'm getting more of like an undervaluing type of situation here, where it's like you could be undervaluing a skill, a talent, gift, skill, or ability that you have, Pisces. It could just be your intuition, especially with the High Priestess at the top here. But I feel that for some of you, it's like there's something that makes you special, and I feel like how you use it is probably going to be changing, Pisces. So that doesn't really surprise me. It also doesn't surprise me that you have this Judgment card, coming up here in this position that we're going to talk about in a second. Here's the thing, is that next year you have Jupiter in your sign until May, then it goes into Aries and it's going to retrograde back into Pisces, blah, 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 right? Amazing year. I've talked about this. You also have Mars going retrograde in Gemini, Pisces. For you, probably your third house, depending on when you were born. And this could have a lot to do with communication and how you communicate with other people. And things like that as well. And the thing is that for some of you, it could be your fourth house, by the way. So, what I would say here is that I feel like there's something changing in the way that you communicate with people, or that you communicate with the world. I would say if you do have a job that involves communication, it will probably be changing. So definitely something to think about. But I kind of feel like there's some sort of talent, gift, skill, and ability that you need to use here, Pisces, to be successful. Next, in the area of the near future, you have the Knight of Cups, Knight in Shining Armor energy. So if you're looking for love, definitely could be a Knight in Shining Armor coming in for you in the near future. Now, this could also be your dreams. Like, I kind of get that blank canvas. I've talked to you about this before. I kind of feel you are one of those signs that has a blank canvas. I feel like you are going to be able to create your own reality in a big way next year, mostly because of Jupiter in your sign. But there are other things that are going on for you next year that I feel are going to be really, really nice for you, Pisces. I feel like there are other things that are going to kind of lead to a lot of positive changes, attracting a lot of people into your life, not just in love, but if you're like trying to build a following or anything like that. And the Knight of Cups, it's like he's standing in this desert, but there's water in front of him. The desert is in the water. It's meant to represent the fact that, there is a desert, but he's also got the water. So all he has to do is plant some seeds and he could turn the desert into an oasis, and that's kind of like what I feel for you here, Pisces. Next, in the area of this is the area of how the near future will evolve, how things will change. You have the Judgment card. This is you answering a calling. In a lot of ways, I feel like something just smacks you right upside the head here, Pisces. I feel like I said this to you in your last reading as well. I get the same thing here. It's like sometimes I think when we just like realize something, when we just have a realization, when we know what to do, it's like things, it's almost like easy mode. I'm not saying your life is about to become easy mode, but again, it's almost like that. I feel for a lot of you that there's about to be like kind of like an easy mode type of thing that comes into your life where you realize like this is my true purpose. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. Again, you have the Magician here. And kind of just looking at this, I don't really read diagonals in Celtic crosses, but what I will say to you, Pisces, is High Priestess to the Knight of Cups to the Judgment card. That to me is kind of like you truly awakening to the mystery of like what you're supposed to be doing in your life, or like with your life, or maybe you're like trying to discover your purpose here. And I feel like you could be discovering it. Next, in the area of basically a turn of events that could be happening for you at this time, you have the Ace of Cups. Some of you could be attracting love into your life, and it could be like some sort of turn of events. For some of you, I feel like you're more having realizations about love and just in general in your life, and that makes a lot of sense to me for you, Pisces, that you could just be having realizations about like what love means to you, or like what type of love you want in your life, or who really loves you. A lot of these questions, especially towards over the end of the year here, it's like I feel like there's a lot going on in your astrology that could kind of highlight that area of your life, and you could be kind of thinking about that. I also think you could be thinking a lot about friends or people that are close to you, like I said already, with this Ace of Cups energy as we enter into the end of the year. And this could be starting now. And you could be like kind of deciding like, what do friends mean to me? What kind of people do I want as friends? All this other stuff. It's important because the Ace of Cups outside of love, it's the flow of energy. It's like where we get our energy. It's like how energy flows to us and all those other things. So, it can say that our close relationships is going to be very important because, that's where we get our energy, basically. At the end here, you in the area of your future environment, you have the King of Swords here. I really feel that for those of you that are like presenting things, if you're becoming a leader in work or in business, or if you're on YouTube or anything like that, people could be looking up to you as like a mentor, or they could really be kind of paying attention to you more with this energy. So that doesn't really surprise me. For others, I feel that this is some sort, I'm getting the word transformation here. He has this butterfly that is like above his head here, Pisces, on his chair. And I feel like for a lot of you, there's like a change, or there's some sort of change that you're going through. And I feel like it has to do with like how people see you and like how you share your wisdom. I even see that here. And, again, with the Magician, the crossing energy, Magician crossing 6 of Wands. I really can't get over that right there in your reading, because to me, that is like saying that you have a lot more inside of you than you realize. I feel like I said this to you recently. I remember saying, I'm pretty sure you had that Nightingale Spirit card in your November reading. And I was saying something about how the Nightingale Spirit, it's about like being fierce, being bold, but on all the decks that have like a nightingale, it's like the egg is gigantic and like this tiny little bird is sitting on top of it. And it always reminds me of like, it's like that bird has so much more inside of it than anybody realizes. Like they say, dynamite comes in small packages, right? That's kind of like what I'm feeling for you, Pisces. And I think you need to realize your true power here. For your outcome, you have the Queen of Cups, very nice energy. I feel like you're just kind of like starting this week and ending the week in the same way. Kind of like I already said, I feel like you're kind of starting and ending with a very similar energy. So this looks amazing here, Pisces. I do want to dig into this a little bit and just kind of like see where things go. So let's clarify some of this. With the King of Cups, you're really ready for something here as well. I feel like you're ready to show something off to the world with the King of Cups, that Magician here as well. So with the King of Cups and the Magician, this Fool is going on the King of Cups. So this really tells me the Fool is a card of a new beginning. The Magician is also a card of a new beginning. It is a card of like needing to get started, needing to get moving. So I feel like it's like time. With the 6 of Wands and the Magician, you have the King of Swords, Wisdom. Again, it's no surprise to me that the King of Swords comes up there because, like I said, the Magician is very, like the King of Swords I look as a mentor. I kind of look at him as like the ultimate example, the ultimate teacher. It's like he has been through more than any of the other kings. He has more knowledge. He has more kind of tricks up his sleeve, right? And this is based off of experiences that he has, right? The magician kind of says exactly the same thing. The magician, he is manifesting things on Earth, but he has mastery over all the suits. It's like not only does he have magic, but he also has the tools. It's like he's got both at his disposal, and I feel like that's important for you for some reason. With the High Priestess, you have the Devil here. I feel like some of you had the Devil in a recent reading as well. Definitely like a repeating energy here. I feel like some of you are maybe focusing on your habits, or you're focusing on things that kind of have to do with your habits. So this could be anything. Could be like exercise. Maybe you're realizing that a certain habit makes you feel tired and you're getting rid of it. Maybe you feel like maybe there's a habit that makes you feel good, and then you're gonna like do more of it, right? The High Priestess isn't about like it isn't only about good or bad. I always say, here's the thing with the High Priestess is that, the B and the J here, it can represent like dark and light inside of us. And it's not about having more darkness or getting rid of the darkness even, or increasing the light. She is an integrated being. She understands that she needs both the dark and the light in her life. She understands that if she totally gets rid of the darkness inside of her, that she will be taken advantage of by the darkness. She will be taken advantage of by people who are dark, right? So she is integrated. She understands the monster inside of her. She understands how to use it, and she controls it, and she doesn't ignore it, right? And that's kind of like what I'm getting here with the Devil. And everything else with you. It's like there could be like good and bad things, but I feel like you're kind of like more looking to take control. With the Knight of Cups here, you have the Ten of Swords here. This is like something coming to an end. I feel like something is bringing hope. Again, remember what I was saying about the desert. It's like the way to think about the desert on the Knight of Cups is like he has the seeds to plant along the water. Like he could just plant them. He could just get started on his journey, basically planting the seeds, and he will grow. Ten of Swords is about needing to realize that. With the Judgment card, you have the Hermit. I feel like you've been through a lot. It's like the Hermit is my card of the teacher. It's funny because I say this to Leo all the time. Leo always gets this card, but the Hermit. And I'm always saying, like, the Hermit, he has climbed to the top of the mountain. He has already completed his journey. He has already gone through, kind of everything that he needs to go through. He understands all the stuff that he needs to understand. And now he's shining his inner light. He needs to like share his knowledge with the world, basically. With the Ace of Cups, you have the Two of Swords here. I feel like some of you need to make a decision in love in a lot of ways. I feel that for those of you Pisces that are looking for love, like it to me, this is like you needing, I feel like I've said this to you before as well. I get this need for you to like move away from what you have always known as far as love is concerned. Again, if you're always picking people, if you're being a Pisces, where you're always picking people who need help, or you're picking people who need to be saved or whatever, I feel like this is saying it's like time for you to move towards strength. It's not time to move towards someone who needs to be saved, here in a lot of ways. I feel like you give too much in situations as well, as far as love is concerned. And this includes friendships, not just love relationships, but I do feel like this is everything. And I feel like you're maybe learning how to do that. Again, once we get into the end of next year, the end of 2022, Mars goes retrograde. Makes perfect sense to me that a lot of you could be needing to maybe draw boundaries with family members, or, there could be things that come up inside the home with Mars going retrograde next year. This is like a theme for you Pisces. I think this is something that you've been dealing with and will be dealing with for a short period of time. Not a big deal. It's gonna make you stronger, in a lot of ways. But just something to think about. With the King of Swords, you have the Nine of Swords. I do feel like it's time for you to get out of your head. I would do anything you possibly can to protect your thoughts, is what I'm getting intuitively. So anything that makes you feel better mentally would be a good idea right now. Again, I always talk about walking, but again, like seriously, like walking changed my life, just going for walks. So, I think that it could change your life as well. I think that forward movement, it just gets us moving forward. But it could be anything. It's like maybe playing a game, maybe playing a sport, maybe taking part in one of your hobbies. Maybe those things get you out of your head. That Nine of Swords is really kind of like barking at me right now and is like saying like you need more of those things in your life. And with that Queen of Cups, look, Ace of Cups, I feel like you are feeling really loved at this time, Pisces. This is pretty good. I kind of see this reading as almost like your focus in a lot of ways. It's like I feel like this week you're just going to decide to focus on the things that make you feel loved or that, kind of drum up that feeling in your heart. But again, that could be like a hobby that can make us feel loved. It could be something that we love to do. And this is going to be a good thing for you, Pisces. This is a really good reading. I kind of feel it's like, it's not really saying anything. But it's saying everything at the same time. I like it. So thank you for being here, Pisces. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your week.